So ArcLagger posted this video on Twitter.
So this is the camera change where we went in and looked at why the feel was off for the camera and the camera shake and everything around it. And basically, tell us what you did.
So started with player framing in terms of.
Let's look at the frame. Actually, yeah, go ADS.
So that, and then when he's ADSing.
So this is PS3. This is a screenshot, but basically he took a screenshot of the framing and the camera position, and then basically mirrored it. And it looks like you lowered the camera, right? So before the camera was, explain how the camera was before.
So the camera was above the character, in most cases, extremely above the character's head, which in turn caused players to kind of do this fisheye down-looking effect.
It was almost like a optical illusion, right? Because the camera was higher than it was during PS3.
Right.
And so now that the camera's lower, it actually frames and looks correct for PS3.
So, character's elbows correct, the position right above the crown of his head, with enough spacing like there was in PS3.
Go over to the right because that red sports sign is blending with the red crosshair. Yeah. Try to get a little closer too. Okay, zoom in. Yeah, so you can see the positioning above the head of the helmet, positioning above the head here. This is a little bigger screenshot, so it looks a little, there you go. And then the framing, and then look, bring it up to ADS. This should be pretty fast, right? Just like,
yeah, so it's
like boom, it goes right there. And move left and right and do that. And shoot and bring it up and move left and right. Yeah, so that's good.
Now, it's really hard to see the crosshairs in these screenshots, and I do apologize. These aren't the most high-res pictures, so if you can't tell what they exactly look like as far as the crosshair, then I apologize. But you can see between these two different screenshots that the positioning of the character is a lot different now. That is on the right, the current position, and on the left is the new position. On the right, you can tell that you can see a lot more of my AR, the stock of it. You can also see that my elbow is out a lot more, and there's a lot less of the backpack showing. Now, they did say they lowered the camera angle. That way you can see more of the backpack. As you can see, that's just to, you know, give you a sense of the difference between the two. And the crosshair is now directly over the person's head, which was what it was like in Preseason 3. The crosshair right now, it kind of looks like you're looking at your guy and he's leaning to the right. And this is kind of like you're looking from straight behind the character. So that's the difference between the two. Now, this update was supposed to have gone live today. I am recording this on the 18th, but you are watching this on the 19th. So it is going live today while you're watching this. I know, total inception, but Art did say that this was the final camera tweak, positioning the camera lower to match Preseason 3 and removing the muzzle flare. We think this should finally capture the Preseason 3 feel with camera and shake. Since we didn't want to compromise tomorrow's update, this update will be a same-day hotfix update after tomorrow's update. So whatever time, and I don't know what time that is currently, they probably will not announce that until like right before the update. So you guys have probably already seen it by the time I post this video. If not, they will be posting it on Twitter. I don't know when they'll post it. I'll pin the comment of what time it is if it hasn't already gone live by the time you watch this. But that update will go live, and then they will do a hot fix to make the camera look like this. So initially, when the update goes live, there will not be this camera, but when they finalize it, it will be going up, and it will be a hot fix the same day. Now, they also updated the Z1BR roadmap. They did a bunch of new things. They added a bunch of new things for us to check out. So the first thing I want to go over, I'm not going to get too much into the moved hop when you exit a car or the season 2 rewards. So the first thing I want to talk about is the new options for hosted games. These are pretty cool. It says here the following updates that are coming for hosted games is 30 games a week, which is up from 20. So before you could only have 20 hosted games a week. Now you can have 30. They also upped the they added the toggle dynamic start, the toggle spawn selection, and a broader control over the match start time. So you can toggle when you want it to start immediately. You can toggle the spawn selection, whether you want people to be able to select their spawn or not select their spawn, which will be really cool for, like, you know, competitive games, because a lot of people want them to have spawn select in only competitive games, and when you do casual-ish games, they want it to not have spawn selection. They just want everybody to spawn at random. So it's really cool that you have a control over that. Now, the next thing is they updated the dynamic match start for faster lobbies. Now, this is pretty cool, the different things they did to the gas and everything. It says here, all matches will count as ranked matches. Spawn selection is turned off for solo duos and 5. Spawn selection is still an option in hosted games. Reward skulls was temporarily removed. I think they're going to probably start working towards, the old skull system, which was betting on your match and then getting skulls based off of how well you did in your match. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Starting selections locations have been tuned to ensure decent looting at the start of a match based on the gas phase, and dynamic matches will only have 1 airdrop instead of 3. There was a lot of times where the airdrops would drop into the gas and you couldn't even get to them because there were so many of them dropping. Now it will only drop 1, and I'm sure it'll always be within the zone. And this is pretty cool. It's showing how the phases of the gas work based on how many players are in the lobby. So 100 plus players, it starts just like a normal match used to. 50 to 90, it starts after the first gas wave has ended. So it would be the next gas wave after the initial one, like in a regular match with 100 plus players. 30 to 49 players, it starts at the second zone after the second wave of gases came in. The 20 to 29 starts at the third wave of gas. 10 to 19 at the fourth wave, and 2 to 9 starts at the fifth wave, which is a tiny wave. So it's cool to see that. I know it's probably already been designated, people have figured out how it works, but that is cool to see it mapped out and tell how it actually works. Now, the next thing that everybody wants them to work on, and I'm sure you guys are ready to see this on live next, is the combat update. The old movement system, removing the combat system of all the mechanics, all the animations, and I don't know when this is coming. Unfortunately, I don't have a date for you. I don't know when they're gonna do it, but I have seen Jace mention on Twitter that is the next thing that is on their list to try to get out as soon as possible. It probably will be really hard to do. More than likely, it'll take quite a bit of time because they do have to overhaul every single movement. But basically, this is what it says on the Trello board. It says the combat update in August of 2017 brought significant improvements to the animation system. That one's debatable, but also changed many of animation's states and transitions. Many players have asked to go back to the old Preseason 3 style movement because they prefer that feel. This could be a massive undertaking for the team, so we will have a focused discussion with the community about what that effort would take and how far it should go. More details soon. And that's what we're really looking for next. Like I said, I do have a tweet from Jay saying that the movement will get done. He said movement is likely next, and he did tweet that about 3 days ago, so I do want to see that one happen next for sure. That is my main concern right now, is them doing that. I think the AR and the AK are in a pretty good state right now. It's nearly perfect, and the next thing they need to work on is the animations. Now, every single day I get this question of whether or not I think that they should add Kevlars back into the game. Back in Preseason 3, you could find Kevlars laying around on the ground, but a lot of people started complaining about it because if someone got a laminated armor off spawn and you didn't, you could shotgun them and it would do no damage and they would one pump you. So this basically says loot caches placed around the world that have a chance to spawn gear. Example 1, laminated armor. We have had a discussion about placing laminated armors back into the world on loot spawn. That discussion morphed into, why don't we just add in loot caches that you can interact with? Think of a crate or a chest or a box that you hit E and interact on, and one of the following is inside. Laminated armor, makeshift armor, 3 to 4 or 5 medkits, 3 to 4 or 5 grenades. More could be added. I don't think that I agree with this one because this is how it is on PlayStation. They have those crates around that make the walkie-talkie sound, and you find those and you open them and they have stuff like that in them, but that doesn't really tie into the PC version, nor does it sound like a good idea. I don't think finding 3 to 4 to 5 grenades inside of a box is a very good idea. Grenade spam has always been a problem as it is. I don't think that's a great idea. I think they should just add laminated armors around the world, and that is it. It says these would be placed in the world in specific locations to reduce the RNG on landing. We thought that was better than being in random location. This makes landing and searching spots more reliable for a loot cache. I get why they would do it. They think that if you put the crates there, then it's guaranteed an armor most of the time, rather than finding armors just randomly, and it removes that RNG like I talked about of someone getting one off spawn and you don't. But I don't think that that's the way to go about things. I think it should just be spread about the world like it used to be, and you can find them at random. But that's about it for today. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. I am actually really surprised at how far Ark and Jace have already taken the game. They've done way more than Daybreak did in the 3 years of having the game. I said that on stream today. They've done a lot for us already. They've been really vocal with their updates updates. I hope they continue to do this, and I hope that you guys continue to, you know, have hope in them and not lose faith that the game can, you know, get reverted back to what it once was. I'm not saying the game can get to 1 million players. I'm not saying the game can be the biggest game on the market ever again, but it can get to a fun, playable state again for the people that still play it and bring back old players that want to get, you know, reminisce of the preseason 3. So hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Go sub if you haven't already. I would really appreciate it. My sub count has been climbing like crazy, which is just mind-blowing to me. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.